Hello there. Welcome back to my channel, Snips by Kelly. I'm Kelly, and tonight we're talking about scrapbooking solutions. What do you do when you have all kinds of amazing scrapbooking pages, but you find yourself without the photos and the memories on those pages? So I am using the Soda Pop collection tonight, and it is an upcoming workshop that I've just created that has four 4x6 vertical photos, a 4x4 photo here in the corner where only the upper right of the photo shows, and then a 3x4 vertical photo. So I create so many pages because scrapbooking is my business. I create many more pages than what I can actually use in my personal scrapbooking. I use pages for gifts. If someone's getting married, I will put together an album for them with finished pages, but I organize those according to category. So you're looking at a masculine album. I have albums that are themes like birthday, Christmas, feminine, masculine, juvenile, Halloween, all different kinds of categories. And then I can draw from those albums when I have an event, and then I can put my memories and my photos on that. But I often hear people say, oh my gosh, I have so many finished pages because I couldn't resist a certain paper collection, but I didn't actually have the photos or the time to scrap the memories. So this was a complete game changer for me. I'm using an app called Print to Size. You can choose any size of a base that you would like to choose, and I typically choose 4x6 or 5x7. I use the 4x6 and the 5x7 because that's the printer size. And then once I've chosen my size, I can make any size photo that fits on the size that I've chosen. So if I choose a 4x6, I could do 3x4 photos, I could do 2x2 photos, 3x3 photos, however many would fit on that. So I already know that I'm needing vertical photos here. I need 4 vertical 4x6, a vertical 3x4, and then a 4x4 that just shows in the upper right corner. So I went out a few minutes ago and I went for a walk with my grandson Waylon James while he rode his trike down the gravel road. We were going to see some chickens at the end of the road. So I'm just going to look through my photos that I snapped just a few minutes ago and look for those that I think would be great with this layout. So I want some vertical photos. I want some that are up close of him, some of him maybe a little farther away that show like the whole gravel road. Maybe some of him, he has a couple where he was pushing the bell on the trike. And so some of him may be looking back at me. So what you can do with the Print to Size app is you can actually resize with your fingers. You can stretch it, you can move it to one side, you can move it to the other side, you can move it to the top, you can move it to the bottom, you can flip the orientation. So let's say you want the photo to be facing one side or the other, you can even move the orientation. Then I send it to my photo printer, and you can actually use this app with many photo printers, but my photo printer is called the PictureMate 400. I actually got it, was it last year or the year before? Maybe it was 2 years ago on Prime Day. And it prints great photos. You can get gloss, you can get matte, you can get 5x7, you can get 4x6, and you can print your photos right at home. Now, I'm from the school of the old days where you printed hundreds of pictures at a time, and then you had to store those in boxes or in containers, and then you would go to those and then you would crop those. But I love the Print to Size app where I can crop right on my phone without distorting my photos or cutting off arms or cutting off legs. I can stretch those to one side or the other. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to pick another photo. I thought it might be nice to have another close-up photo maybe on the right, and then maybe a photo of him a little farther away to have a variety. So I first choose this one where he's looking directly at me. I love how you can make it larger if you want the subject to be larger, or you can move it farther away to make the subject farther away, depending on what you're trying to accomplish with your layout. And so I can stretch stretch this bigger or smaller with my fingers. You can go down as low as 1 by 1 or even lower if you wanted to, which I don't know why you would, but you could do 1 by 1, 1.5 by 1.5, 2 by 2, 2.5 by 2.5, 3 by 3, 3.5, odd sizes. So sometimes you might have, another one of my soda pop layouts has a film strip. And so maybe your photos on the inside of the film strip are odd sizes. So here I have one. I've chosen the one of him on the trike where he's facing inward, where he's a little more toward the inside of the layout to make that look right on the left side. Now I want to find a photo that I can use where just the upper right part of the photo might work. So I can actually crop this and move this and slide this over so that only the right part of the photo shows. So I'm cropping out a lot of the right part so that the subject can be moved more over to the right. And then that way I can adjust the photo to the sizes. And you're probably wondering then, how do I insert these into my pages? And I show you here in just a little bit how I create my pages when I want to finish a collection, how I create my pages so that I'm not tearing my pages apart to be able to put all my photos on after the fact. Some people actually use wax paper. So they will actually put their foam tape and things on, but they will put wax paper underneath the bits that overlap, and then when they want to put their photos on, they just simply remove the wax paper. But I'm going to show you here in just a minute what I do. So I'm just sort of cropping and arranging that photo over to the right. It's a little bit of a funny photo because he's looking downward, and so I actually think I end up not using this photo and I use a different one. I move that one up because I'm contemplating using that, but I've taken that photo on an angle, like I tilted my camera, and then I end up not liking the orientation of that. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick a different one that I think is going to work better, but I want that other one up on top so I can actually open 6 or 7 photos and have them up on the top or the bottom, just as long as they're not on the photo mat that I'm arranging my photos on to print. I can have some up in the wings while I'm deciding and while I'm thinking. And so now I'm just arranging and choosing the rest of the photos. So yes, I do have a lot of unfinished pages because the sheer volume of pages that I create doing my now Stampin' Up! Business, used to be Close to My Heart business for 9 years. You can only imagine when I create at least 2 workshops with each paper collection that we receive, how many pages I end up with. And I can't possibly keep up with that amount of pages in my personal scrapbooking. And so it isn't always that I don't have the photos or that I don't want to do it. It's just the sheer volume is too much. And so it depends on how much I would want to scrap. So now I'm looking here at one where I can do my fillers here, and I love how he's going down the road, and you can see the whole gravel road in front of him. And I think it would be cool to have one that's a little farther away, and I can center a photo. So if I've taken a photo where the subject is way over to the right or way over to the left, simply by stretching or moving out from the photo, I can make it just perfect the way that I want it. Now I love that we have the farther away photo that shows the whole road in the middle, and then we have a photo on the left and a photo on the right that slightly turns inward. So I just have 2 more photos to go. So I'm looking through these snapshots that I took this morning. And then you can categorize your photo on your phone, depending if you use Google Photos, if you use Google Drive. You can categorize your photos according to year, according to category, according to face, and that's a whole different video. But my daughter categorizes her photos according to year, and then inside her Google Drive albums for the year, she has individual categories. So she has months, so she has the photos from every month of the year in a different folder. And then if there was a special event that year, she categorizes those by the birthday party or the special event. And it's pretty incredible. I kind of like to do mine according to theme. So like all birthday parties, I still do mine by year, but I might do outdoor, birthday party, things like that, because that helps me in my scrapbooking. It wouldn't be something that the normal average person would do because maybe they wouldn't be thinking about scrapbooking categories, but it works really, really well for me to sort according to year and theme. So I might put an outdoor event in one folder, a birthday party in one folder, all the Halloween in one folder, or I might do it by person. So I do name all of my people in my Google Photos. It does like a screen check and it checks out your face, and then it will categorize according to the name. So I go in every so often and I make sure the names are updated. And then let's say it is a special event and I'm making a special album for a granddaughter. I can type in Gracie's name and all of the photos that I have with Gracie come up. So if I wanted to do a hodgepodge of years with just Gracie, those are already organized on my phone. So now, as you can see, I'm working with this photo to get it more toward the upper right and have it still be aiming more toward the center. And so I think he was playing with the bell. The trike has a little bell on it, and he was making the bell go off, and then he was looking up at me, dinging the bell at me. And it's so funny how I really, really love scrapbooking, just normal, everyday nothing. We just went out for a walk. We walked, he rode his bike and I walked with him to the end of the road, which is maybe like 6 blocks long, if you were calling it blocks. And at the end of the road, there's a big area where there's some cows and there's a chicken coop. And so he likes to go, and in the morning, the rooster crows. And so when you go visit the rooster, it crows. And so we ride the bike to the end and let the rooster crow. And he says good morning to the cows and the chickens. And then we walk back home. So now you can see how I've arranged that photo over to the right. I'm taking my time here this morning here showing you. But honestly, this is so quick and easy. It was an absolute game changer for me. So having the PictureMate 400 to print photos at home was a game changer in and of itself. And now I print only the photos I need for the layout or for an event. I don't have boxes of photos laying around my house. I do have my old photos. And I'm still working through some older events and older photos. And I'm not kidding you, going back to crop photos when I'm not used to having to do that is different. I love being able to just print what I need. So yes, of course, when you print at home, you know that you have the expense of the photo paper, you have the expense of the printer cartridge, which I'm honest when I say I feel like it is economical for me because I'm not printing thousands of photos anymore. I'm printing only the photos I need, and there's so much less waste. What I used to do is I used to go when there was a photo print sale, and either online or in person, and I would just print thousands of photos because I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't want to stand in the store and try to crop, try to figure out which ones were going to work, which ones were poor quality. I would go and just print all of them, get them at the crop or wherever I was going to work on photos, if I had an event or if I was just working on them at home. More often than not, I would work on these at a scrapbooking crop or a retreat. And I would just have all these photos, and I would end up wasting the majority of them because I would be printing duplicates. I would be printing some where the quality was poor. I would be printing some that weren't oriented in the way that I need. So now I'm going to show you, if you look at my page, I do put my foam tape on, but I don't peel the back of the protective adhesive cover. So I actually just put it on the bottom, so it's like I peel the bottom pieces of the foam tape, and I just peel it in certain parts where it's able to stick down, and I leave the rest of the adhesive off. So all of the pieces that you see are adhered strong enough to be able to stay on the page while I store the page, but the parts where I need to be able to lift up to tuck photos under don't have any adhesive on them, and so I can just pull those back. So you can see the photo that I'm working on right now. Now, there is foam tape on the edge of that photo that I had to lift up, but the coating on top of the adhesive isn't peeled off yet, so it isn't sticky yet. So it pops it up, it puts it in place, but then I don't have to worry. So now I find that I got his picture here of him riding away on his trike too low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my photo app, my print to size app, and I'm going to move him up so that he is up on the top of that photo instead of the bottom. So I'm just going to get it oriented right so that you're able to see what I'm doing. And you could see there on the previous photo where I put 2 3x4s on a 4x6 size. So depending if you're doing 2x2s, you could actually get 6 2x2s on a 4x6. It depends on the size. So a lot of times I will use this app when I want smaller photos, but I want the whole photo to show. I want it to be a nice clear photo that's a 2x2, and you might be blown away by how you can still really tell the story with the 2x2 photo. It can be a smaller photo. So do you see how this is the same photo, but I moved Waylon James up to the top of the photo instead of toward the bottom of the photo. I can flip the orientation of the photo so that he's facing left. I can flip the orientation so he's facing right. I can flip him from the top to the bottom. I can slide the photo and make it more of a focal. So if I just enlarge the center, it makes it into a much bigger photo. So a photo that you've taken that's very far away can end up being a feature photo. So I've added my journaling, I have all my photos on, and that, my friends, is my solution, my game-changing solution to getting photos on pages after the fact. So I no longer have to worry if there's a paper theme that comes along that I'm in love with and I don't have the right photos for it, but I don't want to pass it by. I'm not worried one single bit because I know that I can use my PictureMate 400 and my print to size app to quickly zip photos on finished pages in no time flat. I hope you love it. Shoot me a comment, hit like and subscribe.